What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 33 of the Nightly Nonsense Podcast. I'm your boy, Adam. I'm here with Dave and Chris. Guys, I wanted to talk about this topic last week, and I'm going to fire it off this week because we didn't get to it. And it could just be that the internet's just one big troll job. But do girls have too many icks? Like, do we actually think they do, or do we think this is just the people on the internet?
Did we talk about this one? I feel like we talked about this one time, but
We might have.
We've
Well, I don't
dabbled
think
in it. Like we've
we
talked
dabbled,
about like
yeah.
hours. What are some of the ones that are ridiculous to you?
You're right.
But I feel like lately in my algorithm, it's like that X list
Yeah.
reel, and then
And
the
then
guy
they,
like
like,
goes
scroll
into the
through 'em.
note and like scrolls all the way down.
I've
And like I
seen
can't
this.
tell if it's like a genuine just like these are just internet for clicks, or if like girls actually have this many.
Well, some of those are obviously a joke. Like one of them was like,
Having a mom.
yeah, like one of them was that way. It's like, oh, has a mom? Add that to the list. Or like enjoys spending time together. Put that on the list. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it comes down to people's individual like preferences. So the list is theoretically infinite, right? Like one girl could hate long toes and another girl can hate short toes.
Long
and then
Sure.
and like
We
what are you
talking
gonna do?
toes?
Yeah.
You into toes?
No.
I'm not either. That's gross.
I just
And-
think like some of these, like you'll have a girl be like, he needs to make six figures, but then it'll be like, but he has a 9 to 5 job. I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Well, I mean that there is just insanity out there. Like they go around and ask like, how much do you expect your boyfriend to spend on the engagement ring? And a girl will be like, easily 70,000 or something like that. It's like, well, all right, what planet do you live on?
I think it's just some people are just like so out of touch with reality when it comes to some of those things.
Is it
Well, and some
reality
people
or is it
just
just
need
being
to-
stupid?
Some people just need to grow up. That's what
Grow
I
up,
said.
or I just think the general population isn't that smart. I mean, they do that as like quizzes on the street, and like the majority of our people can't even like point out the United States on a map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Like,
is
what?
embarrassing. Like, did you not go to school ever to not be able to name the United States on a map?
You've just never looked at a map ever?
Ever.
That's crazy.
Ever.
Obviously, I could point out the United States, but I'll be honest with you right now, I don't think I could point out like name all 50. Like, obviously, I know all 50, but if I had to point, I don't know if you're like, what state is that? I would definitely get lost in the Northeast, and then some of that Northwest will get to me a little bit too.
I just did a Sporkle the other day when I was bored for a second at work, and that was the one of the day, and I got all 50 in under a minute and a half.
Wow.
Like, I don't know if I could. That's pretty solid.
Second place in the geography bee in 7th grade.
Humble
right
brag.
here.
Like,
Humble
I don't
brag. I'll go ahead and put that.
I
on
don't
the
know
resume.
if I'd be able to like confidently like New Hampshire, Delaware, Vermont. Like, I'd get lost
Rhode
in
Island,
those for
Maine.
sure. Yeah.
Maine.
Yeah, Maine's pretty easy. So I think if I had a list of all of them and I could like drag them into the states, I think I could do it. Like by process of elimination.
only
I don't
two
think I'm
that-
banging it off first try though.
The only two that confuse me are Vermont and New Hampshire because they're the same shape, just flipped, and they're really small. Those are the only two that ever trip
That's
me up.
like Northeast. They'll get you.
Could get you.
How well would you do on the rest of the world though?
So I've tried those on Sporkle too. I am good in Europe.
How's your
and
South America game?
Kind of weak other than the
Okay.
big boys. Like I got Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Venezuela, but then like Paraguay and Uruguay, I get mixed up, and then there's Suriname,
Ecuador, Ethiopia.
and then there's like these small ones that I didn't even know existed, like Suriname.
I also just said Ethiopia, which is Africa, but we'll
That's
get
in
to
Africa. And then Africa is a lost cause for me also. Not the whole continent, but for me personally, naming African countries is a lost cause.
Good save.
Yeah. Europe's fine. Asia's okay. But Africa.
Would you consider yourself a world traveler, Dave?
No, I've only been out of the country a couple times.
It's more than I have.
Sure.
Well, but no, I'm not. I would love to be a world traveler. I've never been to a continent other than Europe and the North America.
Same.
You
I
know,
need to check off more continents.
I get continents, but I also don't really get why Asia and Europe aren't the same continents.
They are all in one piece.
Right.
I mean, to be
Interesting.
fair, so are us in South America.
Yeah.
Well, the Panama Canal, though,
Yeah.
it divides
But then you got the Bering Straits.
it. Yeah.
That kind of connects
Us to
Russia
Asia.
to Asia, yeah, or us
And
to
No,
isn't-
Asia.
Asia to the U.S.,
Not
but North
Russia.
America.
Definitely
then
not
isn't-
Russia.
Isn't Africa connected to Europe?
A little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Egypt
Yeah.
connects them.
So why
It's true.
that should
So
just
why
be
are there any continents?
there should be 4.
Technically, you could be in like
You should-
England and
There
get
should
in
be
a
North America or just Americas, and then whatever you want to call the Africa, Europe, Asia, and then
Australia.
Australia and Antarctica. That should be
Yeah.
there should be 4.
I
Yeah.
say we just go back to Pangea. All one
Yeah?
people.
Mm. This bitch don't know about Pangea.
Let's have a moment real quick.
Did you get that reference? Did you
Don't
get...
know about Pangea. Brain
Oh
on
damn,
some
Earth go
butter.
hard. Let's just have a moment to check our privilege though, real quick.
Check
Right,
it.
right, right.
Check
It is kind of crazy to think about the fact that, like, not only are we born in this period of time where we can actually like travel and fly and do all these things, but we're also born in a country where we can legitimately just pretty much travel wherever we want, and people born other places like can't. That's kind of crazy to me.
Well, now that I got my privilege checking glasses on, I agree with you. There's a lot of people in the world who don't have the ability to go other places. But is it because of where they live, or is it because of financial situations? There's a lot of people in the United States
But-
who can't afford to go to other places.
But
No,
a
'cause
lot it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit. Like if you're born into certain countries, your chances of coming out of a financial situation where you have that luxury. But I'm sure there's like plenty of countries in like Africa that like don't have an airport.
So
yeah.
well,
good
that's
point.
not even what I meant. I was talking more of like visas, like just legally being able to, or like passports, and where you can go. So like, do you guys have you ever seen like it's like a YouTube brand, Seek Discomfort? They do like kind of crazy challenges and stuff where they have to travel. They'll like go to a random country with zero money and they have to like ask a stranger to stay the night and they have to like make friends and not spend money. It's like challenges like that and stuff.
I've seen that as like fantasy football punishment jokes.
That's crazy.
That is a crazy punishment. Anyway, keep going.
They're pretty famous, but so one of the guys in there, he's from Egypt, and when COVID hit, basically they weren't. I mean, this is a little different because it's COVID, but like his passports don't give him the same. Like our passports are universally accepted everywhere, whereas Egypt's passports have like a lot more restrictions. You can't just go wherever you want. That's just kind of crazy to me.
That is wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
So
That's really interesting.
We can
I don't
go,
know how we got
be grateful.
from
we
I
can
don't
go
know.
everywhere
We're just-
except for like a couple
North Korea.
countries. Yeah.
You don't know how we got from being a world traveler to passports?
Well, and then if
I
you
wanna
really
know-
think about it, we got
No,
from
how we
girls
got
have
from
too many
girls
icks
yeah.
to check your privilege at the door. And what
Sure.
it was
Exactly.
are girls just like stupid when it comes to thinking of prices on engagement
Girls are
rings and how
stupid.
much money people make. And then Chris said, I think it's just all people are dumb. Like, have you seen the videos where they can't point out the
Yeah,
United States
yeah.
on a map and then
Yeah.
That's the route.
geography and then world traveler?
And
We
that's
got
how
there.
we ended up here.
That
And
was
how
the
we
route.
ended up with, if you have a U.S. passport, you can't go to North Korea or Cuba.
And that's just what you get on this podcast.
Exactly.
And then to kind of step back, you said check your privilege for a second. Now embrace the privilege for the second with this next random question. What
Okay,
music
ready.
festival would you guys like to go to the most?
Great segue. My answer is
Because I feel like Coachella just happened, and now I'm seeing a bunch of videos from Stagecoach. Isn't that what it is?
Going. Yeah, I definitely would go to. I've watched a bunch of videos from Stagecoach. Like, I wish I was there.
So I'm just curious about like, yeah, what music festival would you want to go to the most? Because like for me, Coachella could not be lower on my list.
Wow.
I don't even
Wow.
know what kind of music's at Coachella.
Everything.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so it's like Lollapalooza.
it's just interesting for like, unless you're like a celebrity and you're getting like peak housing situation, I don't think I would love like what the commoner has to deal with from a housing and lodging situation standpoint. And then I feel like I'm just paying so much money for a bunch of artists that I don't think I really would enjoy and like a select few that I would. Whereas like Stagecoach, for example, I think like if I went into a random tent and an country artist that I'd never heard of before was playing, I would find myself enjoying that music still, because a lot of country artists are still just like talented. Like you go to Nashville, like any of those bars, like usually all of the live bands are outstanding. Whereas like I could wander into a tent at Coachella and listen to like indie rap or something and be like, what am I listening to?
What is this? Chris, what's your answer?
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I know. I mean, mine's obvious. It would obviously be Stagecoach for me, but I was gonna say I don't know what. I think yours would be some like EDM festival.
That's kind of what I thought.
And that is there's one that's a big one. What's it called?
I mean, there's probably one in like Germany or like one of those European countries that's just like off the charts.
Electric Forest.
It's not coming up on the screen.
Oh no!
It's trying to.
Oh, there it is.
I already like what I see.
That would just be so cool. They just
Where's
light
it
up
at?
this entire forest. I think it's up north.
Norway?
I should know where it is.
Like America North?
Yeah.
Like
See,
Minnesota.
I think I would even have more fun. Like, I don't dislike EDM, but I'm not like a big EDM guy. But I think I would have more fun there than at Coachella, just because like
for sure
all the vibes are the same. Like it's.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
You're just feeling it.
Coachella is like the fake version of a festival for rich people. That's like it's not like it's such a big name that like people that pretend to like EDM go to it. It's so like,
but I didn't even think it was just, it's not just EDM.
But it did really kind of start that way, I feel like. And then bigger names got into it and like different genres started coming. And now it's just more of like a hodgepodge. But mine would be Electric Forest or EDC Las Vegas. EDC Las Vegas would be pretty unbelievable.
That'd be wild too.
There you go. We'll love that. Yeah.
It's in Electric Forest is in Michigan, Rothbury, Michigan.
Didn't you go to something in like Oregon? Like you
we just went to Odessa. It was just a concert.
Oh, just a concert.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
I feel like we kind of missed an opportunity at the bachelor party we went to, because Tortuga's like the third or fourth biggest country music festival, and it was in Fort Lauderdale the same time we were there, and I would have loved to go.
Wow.
But
is that something we could have just like stumbled into while we were there, or would we have had to get tickets beforehand?
We would have been able to. I mean, you have to have a ticket to get in,
obviously.
But we would have. Yeah, we would have been able to buy them while we were there. It doesn't sell out or anything. But yeah, no, Coachella or not Coachella, Stagecoach. Since that when that just happened, like I said, I've been watching some of the videos, and like a lot of the. I mean, I know, being really into like country music, pretty much every person that was there. Yeah. And it looked like it was pretty pretty good.
Is Stagecoach also in California?
Yeah, it's in Indio. Yeah, Indio, California, which I think it's near where Coachella is.
That's what Kristen said. She thought it was honestly like the same grounds.
I think it might be.
No. Wait. I thought Coachella was in Palm Springs.
I don't know. I've never looked into going to Coachella.
Or maybe it changes.
Mm-hmm. Coachella is in Coachella Valley,
Right.
which is in Indio, California.
Interesting.
And
So maybe they are in the same spot.
I think they are. I'm pretty sure they are.
I think the thing with Coachella, and this is like when right out of college, Kristen was like, let's move to New York. But like her vision of living in New York is like watching Sex in the City. I'm like, I'm coming out of college making like $40,000. We're gonna live in a shoebox
with rats.
So like like that was what she wanted to live in New York. I'm like, that's not attainable. And like what she sees of like people going to Coachella, it's like that's paying a lot of money to get that Coachella experience.
No.
Your Coachella experience is you're around people like topless people on drugs, and you're just kind of there.
Yeah, very different, but yeah, Indio is right next to Palm Springs, and I'm just gonna go on the record and say, boys, I've been hot with the sticks this year, and if Mitch and I win, Mitch has gotten to pick twice, so he gets no input on the next location, and I'm most likely gonna pick Palm Springs, and it will most likely be our most expensive trip yet.
I was gonna say, what can I expect budget wise, and how much?
We play PGA West, right?
How much?
Oh my gosh!
Much money that Chris and I get from our wedding do I need to set aside purely for this trip?
I mean, golf alone might be $1,000.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I thought you were gonna say more.
I will promptly ask for a raise tomorrow at work.
Yeah, no. Well, in Mitch's defense, I did the second one completely. He had no so-so on that, but he did choose the first one.
Yeah, give your boy a turn.
Or the second time. The second tournament, the first time he won.
I think the only pairings that if they win would be a net new champion is you and Mitch or me and Matt.
Has everyone else won?
Everyone but me, Matt, and Chris have won. and Chris and I have been a team 3 times, so there's an unfortunate consistency there.
It's all right.
Well,
hey, it's one of our years.
I drove the green on a par 4 and made my eagle putt this last weekend.
Yeah. All right. Tell us about your golfing. We'll go out of order based on our show notes. Tell us about your. No, it's not.
We're right in order.
Yeah, we're right. Look at that. See,
are you ready? Oh, I didn't even see this in the notes. I love this topic. I could talk forever.
Yeah, tell us about what you've been doing. You've been playing a lot of golf and putting up some good scores.
We've been grinding. And so this last weekend, I drove to Chicago and hung out with Braden during the day and then spent the night. And then we woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning because we had to drive about 3 hours down to Indiana. And the day before, we realized that that's a time change. It's a new time zone. And we lose an hour. So we had to wake up even an hour earlier, and we had to get there an hour early. So we drove down to the Burke Boiler Complex. It's like where the Purdue golf team plays. Pete Dye course, and then they have 2 other courses there. And they were beautiful. I love that place. It was a great time. Highly recommended to anyone that's looking for a place to play in Indiana. Played well, couple birdies. The driver has been great. Yeah, I had 2 birdies in the first round and then a birdie and an eagle in the second round.
Okay.
And then last week I had 2 birdies in both rounds as well. So the birdie train has been consistent, which helps the scores so much. Because the way I look at it is like a birdie.
You've got that Scotty Cameron dialed in? You think that's what it is?
My putting honestly feels like the weakest part of my game right now, which is scary because as soon as that's dialed in,
Corn Ferry.
Unfortunately, though, as soon as that's dialed in, then something else has to give a little bit. No one can be good all the time.
With that attitude, this guy's going straight to the Corn Ferry.
I'll tell you what, it's dangerous when you're playing good golf because then when you're playing bad golf, it's really easy to not love golf.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're playing good golf, God, it's so hard
all
to
you,
not. It's all you want to think about. And so, especially when you're playing golf, you're like, oh, and you're playing well. I'm like, all right, I'm playing well. I got to get new irons. I got to get a new bag. I got to get all new clothes.
Yep.
I got to reward myself with so many little
Exactly.
treats because I'm playing well and I deserve it now. Like last round, I was playing Pro V1s. I'm a Kirkland boy at heart. You guys know that.
Yeah.
I don't deserve to be playing Kirklands. Played one Pro V1 the whole round.
Love that.
Didn't lose the
Didn't lose
ball.
it.
Love
And
that.
now I feel like that's the worst thing you can ever do because now I feel like I can never go back to another ball because it just feels so good. It just feels so good, and I have no
He's gonna
business
be
playing
Pro
$5
Vs.
balls.
You
So
shouldn't be.
what's
No
You
your
should
business.
not be.
what's your midweek looking like? Like, are you putting the work in? Or are you ranging
No,
one?
nothing.
You're just playing right now.
Nothing, just playing.
Good.
So-
I
don't
went to the
mess with
range
it.
on Tuesday, but that was the first time, and it was really because I was teaching Alexa.
So I got another question for you.
Don't mess with it.
What is your, because I feel like a couple episodes ago, or it may be just with us texting, you were saying you've kind of fallen out of a gym routine. Do you feel like when you're like,
don't even bring it up.
no, but like, do you feel like when you're
Called out.
when you're actively in the gym, does that negatively impact your golf game?
I
That
think
could
so.
be. Could be.
My back feels better than it's ever, and I haven't done anything. I've been going on afternoon walks and playing a little bit of pickleball and playing golf one day a week.
Perfect.
You're a
all you
60-year-old
need.
man.
That's all you need.
And I'm
That's-
fatter than I've ever been.
But your back.
I just
better.
drank a Baja Blast before this episode.
But no,
not,
like,
not a Taco Bell Baja Blast, a 20-ounce from a gas station
as
that I picked out purposefully.
as my good friend John Daly would say, you can't pull fat.
He might
So,
have been onto something, dude.
I think he was onto something.
but no,
there
I genuinely do think there's something like,
of being too fit.
yeah, like
No, of just having like your
too stiff,
muscles
like
too stiff, and your muscles are used to a different type of activity. And so like I think especially like if you're lifting and you're tight and you're stiff, it's easier to pull things and you have to warm up more, I feel like. I don't know, man.
I agree.
I don't
I
know
think
what
there's
the secret
something to
sauce
that.
is, but I feel loosey-goosey.
yeah, whatever you're
good.
doing right now, I think is the secret sauce. So
I mean,
you said you feel like your putting is the weakest part of your game right now, and your driver's dialed.
Strong. And my irons are all just really good and my wedges are solid.
So like when you're missing greens, you're still like easy chip on.
Oh yeah.
If you're missing greens,
I never have like a not a chip.
I know, but like there's a difference between like just off the fringe in the rough, or like you pulled one pretty bad and you got like a harder chip.
Yeah, like if I'm 130 out, even if I'm 160 out right now, I'm less than 20 feet from the green always.
That's huge.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And par threes have been good, man. I gotta knock on something. I'm gonna jinx myself, but I do feel like I'm not thinking about a bunch of stuff. I have like 2 or 3 things that I think about. And even if I hit a bad shot, I feel like I've been bouncing back on the next hole a lot. I will say my kryptonite right now has been the perfect, beautiful drive,
And
bomb down the center, and the chili dip wedge to follow it up. There's just that is like psychological. Like,
Yep.
and there's
Chili dip
nothing
wedge.
that will crush you more than that, especially when it happens like a couple times in a round. Ugh, I could snap all my wedges in half.
The chili dip wedge.
Because like for me, I didn't play last weekend, but I played 2 weekends ago. And so like for me, I would want to consistently be under 100. Obviously, that's just where my game is. But I would love to get to a point where I'm like low 90s, flirting with breaking 90. That's where I want to
I'd
get
love that
to.
for you.
I'm not setting drastic goals. And I shot a 98 2 weeks ago. And like I have things that I'm looking at and I'm like, I feel like it's manageable to get to where I want to be. And my biggest mistake for that I have is I tend to have like a couple blow up holes because I compound mistakes. So like I had
Sure.
a par 5 where like I pretty much play a cut or my miss is a slice. And then I have about one hole around where I'm playing for the cut, and then I hit the draw out of nowhere. So I hit the draw, drive's gone. So then naturally, I think I can hit like a 250-yard 3-wood out of the rough to
Sure,
save
yeah.
myself. But no, I duff that. And then I'm just like compounding a mistake. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's a par 5. I can make up that stroke, where really I should just be like, all right, let's just try and get there now
bogey.
and minimize, as opposed to trying to.
Yeah, bogey.
There's
is
a
now
lot
par.
of thinking going on
When-
there. Though.
bogey is now par
could be
when-
See,
part of the
but it's
problem.
No, I
also-
see what you're saying.
It's
though.
also
Like,
not a lot of thinking at all if I'm just like, okay, I hit my bad drive, now just play this whole smart, as opposed to trying to make up for the mistake.
yeah, like if you had a caddy there, he'd be like, all right, we're playing for bogey here. Bogey is par.
Yeah.
Like, just be smart about it. And that's something I have been doing, and it fights legitimately every single urge in my body to not hit a 3-wood 240 out and just to lay up and give yourself like a 120 shot in. I hate it. I physically hate doing it, but I've been getting pars, and I think even a couple birdies out of just playing smart like
Yeah,
that.
like I've found myself a
It's
couple
just
times
great.
now on par 5s where it's like, usually like I hit the fairway, and then usually I'm like, okay, let's do 3-wood or 3 hybrid to just try and get myself as far down there as possible. But then I'm putting a lot more miss into my swing, where it's like, okay, let's hit like a 6-iron, put myself in a perfect pitching wedge distance that I know I feel good about, and then I have a birdie putt and possibly parring. Whereas a lot of the time, if I go hybrid or 3-wood, I'm spraying it, and then maybe I have like a really difficult like punt shot out from trees
that
to try
ball's
and get
gone
on the green, or
too.
that ball's gone. Yeah. So like just playing smarter is really what it boils down to.
Smarter.
You know, I just go out there and I have a good time.
You
And
do have a good time.
and usually I suck, but occasionally I pull a nice round out, and I have
What's
a good
your
time.
lowest round ever?
I shot an 87 at the landings in Chesterfield,
That's
That
pretty
is
good.
my lowest as well, at the same exact course.
so that's my lowest ever.
I really
I
wanna
also
call
died at
Caleb
that
right
course.
now.
Should we do a
I-
live call in on
Should
that?
we do a live call on to Caleb right now? Because I want to ask him, what was the last score he shot? Like a
Dude.
108.
And I
you
was
said?
with- I was
we've
with
never
him.
done it. We've never done it. And I've
Let's
seen
do it.
pods where they do live call-ins. and
I
it's
don't know.
hilarious.
I don't know if he'll answer.
He never does, but
Yeah, he
Try it.
does. Remember
Like, I bet
on
you
his
if I-
bachelor party, I said, in the middle of the night, you call Caleb, he'll answer.
and
I bet
you're
you if
not,
I go to
that's
my-
not true.
If I go to my text message threads with him right now, yeah, he has notifications silenced at
that just means you
not-
have to call him twice.
Call has been
Second
forwarded to
time.
voicemail.
Yeah,
oh,
call him again.
straight to voicemail.
No, call him again because he's got it on silence. But if you call a second time, it gets through. Do it. I'm telling you the truth. Bingo. Bingo. Come on.
he did shoot
Your
an
call
8.
has been forwarded to
Oh,
voicemail.
that's
I
an
don't
ignored phone
I
call.
don't
gonna
think that
say.
even rang out. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did. So him and I played 2 weeks ago, and he did not play well. And then he played last week and shot an 88.
Yeah, he did.
So
shoot an
he's in the
88.
he's in the peaks and valleys right now.
Yep.
That's the stage that you have to go through, which sucks. That's just the lack of consistency. But
So I
he's
was
trending
at
upward.
I was at the range today, and I feel like I hit a couple 4-irons like on the screws, and it's going like 210. And then I hit my driver, and it's also like carrying 210, like maybe 215. So the only rational thing I can think of is because my driver's 7 years old and my irons are only 2 years old, so I have to get a new driver. That's all it can be, right?
Yep.
That's it.
You have
That's
to.
Has to
it.
be.
And maybe
has
a
to
new
be.
bag too.
Just cause. And
Honestly.
new gloves and a new towel.
Yeah,
and-
I have a whole scheme I'm cooking up. I'm gonna get new irons, and then I'm gonna use my triple points day at Golf Galaxy to
Yep.
get all those rewards. Then I'm gonna use that to get a new bag.
There
yeah,
you go.
smart.
I love what you're scheming up.
Smart move.
Do we have time for a quick story? One more
I-
quick golf story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
We-
As I mentioned, we went to the range Tuesday this week.
yeah.
And I was teaching Alexa, but I kind of, I had a small bucket for myself that I was kind of hitting so she could kind of keep practicing, and like I was giving her tips the whole time. So, but then there was two, like, probably I would say they're freshmen, in high school, maybe a little bit younger, right next to me in the bays, right next to me. And then their buddies came over later on, and they're all talking shit, and they're like, "Oh, let's have a long drive competition," and they're like, starting to, get a little competitive.
Yep.
So I'm hearing all this behind me, and I'm like, "All right, I gotta pull out the big dog." And
I was
let it
gonna
be.
say, is this about to be like a you pulling down the
Yeah.
full stack at the gym type story?
So I just obliterated two straight over the net, gone out of sight, range balls, and I heard a little crush or a little hush on the crowd. Like I knew that they were watching. I didn't turn around one time, but I knew for sure they were watching. And then I had 5 balls left. And I was like, all right, Alexa, pick some targets out for me with these last 5 balls. And they have like these little baskets out there. So she called out one, and I had a wedge, put it like just right over the back of it, like almost in. Second one was just slightly right. And I was like, all right, I got it. Third one into that bucket. And then she's like, oh wow. And I knew these kids are watching. And then she's like, all right, go to the green bucket this time. Last 2 balls, dink, dink into this little bucket. And then I just picked up my clubs and walked away. And I was like, I just rocked those little kids' world.
Yeah, these kids are like,
they probably thought you were a pro.
There's probably a chance they didn't see a single shot because I legitimately didn't turn around.
They saw
in my head,
they were looking.
I had a crowd watching me like that whole time.
You're like, these kids are watching.
As soon as you hit one of those drives over the net, they're like, that you had eyes on you.
Yeah, because I saw their drives, and they were going mid net, so straight piped 130, 40 foot apex beauties.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
I like that for you
story.
so
It was
much.
fun.
I like that story. Wow. Well, there you go. Cool.
That's my golf story.
Christopher just rocking the golf world right now.
I can't wait to play some golf with you guys.
Do we want an update on my while Chris is out playing golf, what I've been doing?
Yes.
Yes, we need it, honestly.
Getting dialed in the lab.
Yeah.
That's me. So I'm
dialing in a different game.
I'm pretty much an Avenger at this point. So
what's your superhero name, Dave?
I don't know. I don't even want to know. Squishy. Anyway, so the okay. So as we all know, I've been watching the Marvel movies, and last week I was through Thor: The Dark World, which is the second Thor. This week I put in some work.
Yep.
So since last week, I have watched Iron Man 3, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America: Civil War, which is my #1 favorite movie so far.
Okay.
Black Widow, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Black Panther, Thor: Ragnarok, and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
So 12 movies
12
in a week?
In 1 week.
Those are good numbers. Those are not rookie numbers.
Hold on. All right. Average multiverse runtime is 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yep.
Times 12.
I have put in
full day
of work. I don't go to bed until like 1:30 in the morning. Like I start them too. Like most of the time I don't start them until like 9. So I have a 9 to 11:30 slot and an 11:30 to 1:45 slot.
You put them on your Outlook calendar.
Yeah. Busy, out of office.
So I want to say last time we talked to you, you did say either OG Avengers or Iron Man 2 was your favorite. So now you say Captain America: Civil War has surpassed.
Yeah, I think that is my number
What did
one.
it for you? What did it for you?
I mean, I loved the introduction of Spider-Man and Black Panther.
Yep.
I really like, and this is probably like a cold take, but any movie that includes the maximum amount of Avengers in it, I like. So like,
I agree with that. Yeah.
So like, Captain America, Civil War had all of them in it, pretty much.
It was basically another Avengers movie.
It was. And I really liked the original Avengers movie, and I liked the Avengers Age of Ultron movie as well.
Were you team Iron Man or team Captain America in Civil War?
I was team Iron Man, but I believe I texted you guys after that one and said it was a different one. Maybe, no, I think it was that one. I texted you guys. It was like, for the first time, I don't know if I love Tony Stark in that movie.
Think that was Avengers 2.
I think you're right.
That was 2.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, for the first time, not sure I love this guy. But since
like
then,
in Civil War, Captain America is just backing his boy, but like I think I was team Iron Man as well.
Yeah, he was backing his boy, but he was wrong.
Yeah, but you gotta you
gotta respect it.
If I'll back either of you up if you're flat out wrong. I'm still there for you, you know?
Exactly, totally. I don't blame him.
It's just him being loyal, but
since
Iron Man's also kind of one of his boys, so he's turning on a boy to back another boy. It's like,
it's true. But I got to exactly where I wanted to get, because now, after this podcast recording, I'm only going to be able to watch one tonight. But
so you say.
Infinity War is coming in hot, and I am so excited for Infinity War and Endgame that it's like unbelievable. Like,
so good.
I'm like, I can't even believe it. If you would have told me 3 weeks ago that I would ever be saying that, I'd tell you you're a crazy person.
That you'd be here right now. You've made it.
But I'm here right now. And I'm excited. So
it's just unbelievable progress. It's just really a commitment, and it's a testament to what you can get done when you set your mind to something, Dave.
It's true. And you're exactly right. Adam, was it you that said you thought Thor Ragnarok wasn't good?
No, I said I thought Thor Ragnarok was great, but I think because of how good it was, it changed the trajectory of Thor's character.
Yeah, so Thor Love and Thunder is the one he hates, which I agree with. I don't hate it, but it's just not good.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I agree with you. It changed his trajectory a lot. But I didn't think it was a bad movie.
No, I thought Ragnarok was great, and I think people liked the comic relief of it, but now they've turned Thor into this comic relief character.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like.
Yeah, it is kind of weird how he completely changed his
Oh, we got a Caleb callback. Should I answer?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, answer it.
Hello.
Dude, what's up?
You're live on the podcast right now.
Oh no. I don't love that.
We have to talk because the last time I played golf with you, you played unbelievably well. And I thought that your game was changed forever, but I'm hearing rumors that you shot 108 recently.
Yeah, I didn't play well when I played with Adam at Spencer T. Olin.
Yep.
How does a 108 happen though?
I couldn't strike the ball.
I think it was the driver wasn't working, and then because of that, he was overthinking the rest of his bag.
Adam said driver wasn't working, so you were overthinking everything else.
That's probably a little bit right. Yeah, it was the driver wasn't working, but nothing was working.
But then back to an 88 in your last round?
Yeah, I played with my dad and some of his buddies. Like I said, played from 63-50. Didn't lose the ball. I hit a lot of 3-wood off the tee, which made it a little bit easier.
Okay.
Played well. Played really well.
Well, I told them I think you're in the phase right now of improvement in which the consistency isn't there, but so it's kind of peaks and valleys, highs and lows. Just stick with it, man, and you're trending upward. That's all that matters. I'm proud of you.
I agree 1,000%. I'm to see if that 88 was an anomaly or if I have something in the bag now that I didn't have last year.
Ask him where he's playing with Sam.
Where are you playing with Sam? Dave wants to know.
We're playing the Landings or Ann Briar on a Wednesday morning.
Oh, Wednesday morning, though, banker's hours.
Yeah, classic doesn't work, people.
All right, bud. Proud of you. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate it. Enjoy your podcast.
Have a good night. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Love the callback.
Love
the callback. And just a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
I thought it said Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning.
morning.
Either way, it's not great.
What's it like?
Wednesday morning's crazy. I can't imagine that.
I do know that very soon here, Caleb and Sabrina leave for Italy. So I don't know if they're taking some
See.
time off before.
See.
Sam's just simply not working and going to play golf.
Sam doesn't work. Not a job. I'll say it right here for everyone to hear. Don't care. He'll be
Shots
insulted.
have been fired.
He'll be insulted.
But it's true.
It's all
I'll
right.
say
He's not
this, but-
sensitive about it at all.
He has come a long way. He used to be like, no, I work. And now he's just like, yeah,
I'll
now
call
I
him
golf.
too. A future episode, I'll call him and say it to his face right here on the pod.
Let's do it. Just stir some chaos.
Exactly.
Just
Now,
ruin his night.
Where were we at right before?
We're talking about Marvel. We were talking about Endgame.
Yeah, we can move on to the next topic. We got through it pretty much. Just
Okay.
I've made major progress, and I should be close to done with all of them by next week. Maybe a couple spares after that. But
Do you think next week, if you put a proper dent in, we could possibly lock in a Marvel movie draft?
Yep.
Think
Just
we
from
can
the
lock
sounds
that
of
in,
it.
put that on the calendars?
Yeah. Let's put it
All
on
right.
there.
Lock it in, put it on the
All
calendars,
right.
boys.
All right. We'll put that in there.
It's been a
Tune
hot
in.
minute since we've had a draft.
Exactly.
And we've also been really bad about like actually putting out a poll for the draft on who we think won. So we gotta be good about that too.
We also got to do the Hot Ones challenge.
We gotta do that. We got a couple things we gotta do.
Sure.
we owe
sure.
the people.
We did that run though, Adam.
Yeah.
That counts for something.
We did.
You
We
did
were
do
very-
that.
We were very honorable on our water bets.
Sure. Yep. That's true.
That's
That's
true too.
There were a
Yeah.
couple things we were good about. We've just slipped on a couple other things, and that's okay.
But we're a podcast of honesty, and we're just honest when we say we screwed up.
Yeah, absolute integrity.
But we're not honest about doing what we say we're going to do.
Is that a 1-for-1 in that
Yep.
draft, Chris?
It's
You
a-
got to take
yeah.
one movie draft, one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do my research. I'll
Uh,
lock in. I'll lock in.
All right. Let's
All
talk
right.
some sports. Let's talk some sports while we're here.
Okay. Do we
Adam,
want to?
give us your draft recap.
I was gonna say, do we want to learn about sports or we want a quick draft recap?
Draft recap, please.
Hit us with a draft recap.
Yeah. So I would say, honestly, industry term that you guys threw at me during March Madness, this draft was very chalky.
Chalky.
Yeah,
It was-
chalk.
It
All
was
that
a lot
chalk.
of, so like last year, for example, this is 2 years in a row now where I've made my own mock drafts leading up to the draft. Last year, out of the 32 picks, I got 4 correct.
Wow.
And that was like on par with a lot of the experts. Like not a lot of people got a lot picks right last year's draft. I think I was 7 out of 10 on the first 10 picks this year. Like it was just no one outside of the Falcons really did anything crazy.
Yeah. What
There you
happened
go.
there? I don't understand that.
So you don't understand why it's crazy, or like what are the Falcons doing?
What are the Falcons doing?
So
What are they doing? It makes no sense.
I'm gonna be honest. The more I've thought about it,
It makes sense.
I don't hate the pick as much.
Hmm.
Okay, explain.
Kirk
But
Cousins
Kirk-
is getting older and he's
But
coming off
Kirk-
a torn Achilles. You don't know how he is going to look coming off of a torn Achilles. So you're basically shoring up that if something happens to Kirk, you do have the backup quarterback position set. And let's be honest, at the end of his fourth year of that contract, he's probably not looking like the guy he was at the beginning of that contract. Again, aging quarterback. So it's just shoring up that quarterback position, because you like to think that with the addition of Kirk Cousins, you're going to be competing better than you were last year, because QB play was such a problem that you're not going to be put in a position where you can draft one of these talented quarterbacks and really shore up your back end. My biggest thing I still just question, obviously, is you pay Kirk Cousins because you think your team's in a situation to win now. And if you have a top 10 pick, you put that team in a better position to win now. Whereas like their GM came out and said that Penix might not play for 4 to 5 seasons.
I'm shocked that would be the case. 4 to 5 seasons. Isn't his contract and rookie deals only like 4 to 5?
4 years with a 5th year rookie option. But
exactly.
that's Kirk signed a 4-year, $180 million contract.
I
So if
know.
like Kirk's playing well, they're not just going to play Penix just because.
I think it's a waste of a draft pick for them.
I agree.
I hear
Yeah.
but
What do they have
I,
in the backfield?
But so last year they drafted Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
Bijan
And
the
then-
Dijon.
They have Drake London as a receiver. They have Kyle Pitts as a receiver or as a tight end, but they're thinking that those guys will be elevated because of better QB play. I don't know. One, I wouldn't have paid Kirk Cousins $180 million. I think that's the worst decision than drafting Penix.
Old
But
Peanut.
it's the two together that don't make sense.
When I think of Justin Jefferson's top moments of last year, they were all insane catches because they were bad throws.
Yeah.
So
Right?
I've been on the record many times saying that I agree that Kirk Cousins has not proven that he can win anything because he hasn't, but I do think he's a good quarterback.
I do too.
And
I think
I think the Falcons have probably put themselves in a position to win the NFC South, but
that's a
the
weak
NFC
division.
South isn't great.
Weak division. Carolina, New Orleans, and Tampa.
Tampa. Yeah.
Bay. Yeah.
So Falcons made obviously, I think, the biggest head scratching decision. I think the one after that was the Broncos taking Bo Nix in the first round.
Yeah.
But that was purely just based off of team need. Like that team needed a quarterback worse than any other team. And all of the other guys were gone. So they just reached on him. So pick value bad, but I don't necessarily hate it from a team need perspective.
Mm-hmm. And I think he'll be good.
I think he'll be serviceable.
Yeah.
I think he can be in like Geno Smith.
I feel like he's the guy though that could be one of the bigger surprises at quarterback out of all the ones that were drafted.
The only reason I disagree is because the Broncos are so bad.
That's true too. That is true. Too.
So really, like the only other kind of storyline that I really picked up from the draft this year was the Chargers pick Joe Alt,
Yeah.
their right tackle, and it was just this TikTok video of this guy, and it just said, "Negative drip, only wears quarter zips,
Yeah.
6'9", 321
Yeah.
pounds," and his bio says football and fishing. This guy is about to play 20 years of Pro Bowl football.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
exactly.
I am a Chargers fan, and when that pick was made, I was not happy.
Really?
Oh,
But
wow.
That's
Oh.
just because we also, at the time, had 0 receivers. Like our
Sure.
number 1 receiver was Josh Palmer, and our number 2 was Quentin Johnson, who was horrible last year.
Mhm.
And the top 3 receivers,
I believe that's Johnston with a T. isn't it?
Johnston. I believe that
Yes.
is correct.
Yes.
And this draft class had 3 receivers that, like in any other year, are the unanimous number 1 receiver, but like they were all competing against each other. So had truly the ability to get like a generational number 1 receiver. But Harbaugh has been adamant that I want to build through the trenches. The best way to make sure the Chargers are good is keeping Justin Herbert on his
Big
feet.
boy.
So like you draft Joe
Give
Alt,
me
and
him.
you already have an all-pro left tackle, and now you're taking a guy so you have like a 25-year-old left tackle and a rookie right tackle that are both just going to be all-pro offensive linemen, like you said, for like the next 15 to 20 years.
I mean, his
Yep.
name already sounds like a Hall of Famer.
And
It sounds like he should have been a Hall of Famer like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
Alt.
So
Yeah.
like
They name
ultimately,
awards after that guy.
ultimately what I wanted to happen was the Chargers have so many needs on their depth chart. I wanted them to trade back with the Vikings because the Vikings were going to trade up to get JJ McCarthy, even though they stayed put and got JJ McCarthy. So once I realized we couldn't trade back, the more I thought about it, I think it was the better pick because then we took a receiver with our first pick in the second round. And like if you gave each player a rating on 1 to 100, the combination score of taking a offensive tackle with your first pick, receiver with your second pick was going to be higher than if we took a receiver first and had to take an offensive lineman with our first pick in the second round.
Yeah, I can see that. It's kind of like when you're doing daily fantasy and you have the dollar amounts and you kind of get forced in. You can't take the high dollar guy because you really need like a lower dollar guy to kind of to boom instead of a big guy to bust.
And
now
then
you're
our
receiver
we took in the second round runs a 4.340. He is like a polished route runner. He's basically going to be, I'm not going to compare him to Keenan Allen because Keenan Allen was an outstanding receiver for the Chargers for several years, but like the routes he runs, his hands, like that's how he kind of profiles. So he's going to be such a safety blanket for Herbert to throw the ball to.
Did you guys happen to see that the Broncos just signed that 5'8", 142-pound running back, BJ West?
5'8", 142.
He's the lightest player in NFL history.
That's like
really small.
That's like an 8th grade Adam Reichman getting signed by an NFL team.
He's got to be like 5. It's like Darren Sproles.
But 142. Like
how much?
5'8's still kind of tall, I guess.
That's how tall he is. 5'8".
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy, the receiver the Chiefs drafted, is 5'11", 160. That's me.
So Darren Sproles.
That's me.
Darren Sproles was 5'6".
So tiny.
But weighed 190.
Yeah, like
thick boy.
140.
Fast.
You'll be broken.
Yeah, that's a thick, fast guy. This is just
Darren Sproles was
142 pounds. Thick. The bar with one plate on both sides is 135 pounds.
Darren Sproles was not that thick.
But that's muscle that's making him weigh so much.
His legs were probably so powerful.
I'm looking.
Muscle weighs more than fat.
You can't be 190 pounds at 5'6" and not be built.
This is the
I wonder how much this guy benches. 142.
How small he was.
Little guy.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, I would say my winners of the draft were the Bears. I think the Bears knocked it out with both of their picks.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say the Eagles had an excellent draft. They got arguably like 2 of the top 3 defensive backs in their 2 picks. Teams that I think lost the draft, the Falcons, just because head-scratching decision. And then I'm going to say the Bills as well. Like I like the Keon Coleman pick, but I think they more just lost the offseason because they got rid of so many guys, and now he only has Keon Coleman. Like they don't have Gabe Davis or Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. I think that's right. I think I'll say my only comment. I don't know. I don't believe in Drake May. So I think the Patriots, it's such a Patriots pick to take Drake May. And
such a Patriots pick.
And I just
I think JJ McCarthy would have been more of a Patriots pick than Drake May.
Maybe, but Drake May just screams New England Patriots.
I'll say it right now, though. The reason Drake May is going to fail in New England is not because of Drake May. It'll be because he has nobody to throw the ball to, just like the same reason why Mac Jones failed in New England.
Yeah. You're probably right.
The same reason why I'm going to be very frustrated this season when the Bears do good and everyone's like, the problem was Justin Fields. It's like, maybe, but Caleb Williams is coming in with a better offense than Justin Fields was ever given.
Dude, the signings that they've had this offseason to their receiving core has been flipped.
Caleb Williams is coming in with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet at tight end, DeAndre Swift at running back, I'm pretty sure they got like a couple offensive linemen in free agency.
Yep. They've completely flipped their team.
So
I agree.
And yeah, Caleb Williams is they put him in the best position to succeed. And that's why pretty much everyone said that like the Vikings and the Bears were the best 2 situations to go into as a quarterback, because the Vikings, like, they also have a solid offensive line. They got Aaron Jones in free agency. You have Hawkinson, then you got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So like, again, you have a ton of weapons. Whereas like New England, I couldn't even tell you who their number 1 receiver is.
We should have asked Caleb when we had him on the line.
He wouldn't have known.
He would have known.
Bourne.
Oh yeah, it is Bourne. He missed some time last year. with an injury.
Jason. Jesus Christ,
Oh.
it's Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne. All right, Chris, are you going to tell us about a conspiracy?
Yeah, I told you last week we're going to talk a little bit about the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of areas in the Grand Canyon that are very restricted. What do you?
I don't even know
about?
why. I don't even know what I'm laughing about. It's just this build up.
The delivery.
So the Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon.
How about it?
There's a lot of restricted areas throughout the Grand Canyon.
Mm.
Some are for Native American sacred sites. Some are for plant, wildlife conservation areas. Others are there's a specific one that's the mines of the Grand Canyon. So in the early 1900s, there was a lot of mines in the Grand Canyon because they were mining for gold there.
Okay.
The gold
So
rush.
in 1908, there was a push from Teddy Roosevelt to protect the Grand Canyons. So a lot of these explorers were like, well, let's get out there and get all the gold that we can before they protect
Add
this.
an S to the Grand Canyon.
No,
Yeah, you did.
I said explorers.
You said Teddy Roosevelt wanted to protect.
How
the
are you
Grand...
going to call me out on that and you didn't call Adam out on shoring up the backup position? Shoring up.
Oh well, I didn't hear him say that, but I
Shoring
did hear
up.
you just say.
You're
I just-
shoring up.
I heard you just say the Grand Canyons, and it immediately sent something to my brain that said that is not right. Anyway,
I mean, there's got to be multiple canyons in there.
All right,
And a couple of
all
them
right,
are
keep
grand.
going.
How do you
Keep
define a
going.
canyon?
I don't know. Keep going.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so this explorer G.E. Kincaid goes on an expedition out there. Goes with a woman named Kim Kate, and they find a set of man-made stairs into a cave system. They promptly reach out to some of the top universities at the time in the Northeast, let them know about this. These universities then send out more expedition people to investigate this stuff.
Yep.
Those expedition forces find can you just calm down?
Dave, keep it together.
These explorers find a complex system of caves that include a gigantic Buddha statue,
Okay.
a perfectly cut marble staircase, and ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Those explorers then return to their universities. After that, G.E. Kincaid is like, what's going on here? Like, what are we going to do about all this? We got to tell people about this. Next thing we know, the government denies it. The universities deny everything ever happened and that they even sent people there. They promptly restrict these areas of the Grand Canyon and then fill in and like cover up these cave systems, the cave access systems. There's also rumors that these explorers found giant mummified bodies in these caves. Now, if you think about it,
I'll think about it.
Area, long time ago, was under the ocean. So, what is other ancient civilizations that we've heard of that are under the water?
Atlantis.
So maybe our whole thinking of Atlantis being like somewhere out in the middle of the ocean is kind of a misguided perception. Maybe it was just
At
in the
one
Grand
point
Canyon
it was.
the whole time.
Yeah.
It was underwater, but the waters have changed, and so our kind of perception on it has changed too. So I don't know. Lots of interesting stuff there. They don't let drones fly in there. The airspace over it is restricted as well, which is weird. Like, why would the airspace be restricted?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it's as serious as Area, is it 51? Yeah.
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 Like, they'll shut you down with ARs and roll up on you in 3 seconds if you cross over into these areas that you're not supposed to be in.
Interesting.
Wow. What did you say the first woman that
Kim
went
K.
there?
Kim K.
Kim K? Kim Kardashian?
Kim K, I think. But it all goes back to the
Shout out.
story of the Anunnaki, which is like this ancient race of human beings that they believe existed, that essentially existed and kind of led to the ancient Egyptian civilizations. But I don't know, man.
Wow. That's
don't know.
crazy.
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't
Yep.
believe it. I'm just here spreading information.
Kim
Might
Kate.
be disinformation, but I'm spreading it.
Hey, the people need to know.
Oh man, I couldn't stop laughing for the whole first part of it.
It's just because you don't believe, Dave.
I don't.
You gotta believe for Santa's sleigh to fight.
I don't know if I believe, but I that is a compelling story.
Have you
I believe.
seen the Grand Canyon before?
I actually have not been to the Grand Canyon.
Do you believe it exists?
I do, yeah.
Who's
guess
to say?
I guess we'll never know.
Guess
Who's
we'll
to
never
say?
know.
Guess
Who's
we'll
to
never
It's like
know.
a lollipop. How many licks does it take?
That owl only 3.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
That's
I
a
love
waste.
it.
That's a waste of a perfectly good lollipop.
He takes 1 lick, 2 licks, bite.
That's just an owl with no self-control.
None. 0. All right. Well, that was good conspiracy.
Do we want to learn about sports? I feel like we're coming up on time possibly. Do we want to just go straight to the Daily Does piece?
What do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's keep it light this week.
I was going to say I also feel like my Let's Learn Sports could have taken a hot minute, so
Yeah, we can spread that
We'll
one to a different week.
yeah, we'll savor it. We'll savor it.
We'll sit on
We'll sure it up.
it. Shore it.
Sure it up, baby.
That was like
We'll
so
shore it up and go to the Grand Canyons.
for the longest time I always thought the saying was err on the side of caution,
Uh-huh.
and it's just
It's but you don't say
Hold
and
on.
Dude, a
Hold
coat,
on. What?
it's just on the
It's
side of
ER.
caution.
You don't say that, but that is correct. It's spelled ERR.
And a long time ago, one of my coworkers like typed that to me in Teams, and I corrected her and was like, error, LOL. And she was like, no. And I was like, you're an idiot. And then I looked it up. I'm like, crap, I'm
Like,
the idiot.
Put your hands in the
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
But if you're erring on the side of caution, you're erring on the side of caution.
Yeah. ERR, not error.
I hate that. That's not
But you
true.
don't
Let's
pronounce
change
it
that. Let's
way.
change
You
that.
don't
Let's
pronounce
change
it
that.
that way.
Can we talk to the powers that be at the Grand Canyon to get that changed? I feel like they have what it takes.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, I'm seeing
Yep.
it.
All right,
Top
let's
left,
do
top
it.
left again.
Got
Top
to.
left. Let's
We
go.
keep saying we got to, but maybe we do need to switch it up.
Oh,
Greg Zerline.
Greg Zerline.
Greg the leg.
Greg the leg, the Legatron. Bow.
NBA.
He got eliminated. LeBron James got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs for the first time in his career after the Lakers lost to who in 6 games
Couldn't be Golden State.
in
Celtics?
2021. No,
No,
that's not
Celtics are in the East. Lakers
The
are West.
NFC West, yeah.
the NFC West.
2021. 20.
I don't
So
even know what basketball divisions are called.
They-
the
they
Suns?
won the COVID year. So this was the very first year after they won the championship.
It's the Suns or the Nuggets, I believe. But I don't know. Don't click.
Well,
it.
yeah,
I
let's
don't
come back to that one.
I
I
hate
bet I-
coming back to them.
know.
Because we're going to need another comeback too.
The National League franchise holds the record for most Rookie of the Year winners with 18, including 5 in a row from 92 to 96.
So
that-
National League with a bunch of Rookie of the Years.
Who had a bunch of good rookies in the 90s, year after year. John Rahm. Did you just type in John Rahm?
No.
So like who are guys that have won recently?
Paul Owens.
Like the Braves?
The Braves could be it because if you're thinking mid 90s is when they were elite.
And you've had
Andre
guys.
Jones would have been a rookie in that time period.
You've had guys like, I believe, Acuna won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Tanya Acuna.
I don't know if I feel good about it, but I can't think of.
I feel like that's a good guess because they were really good in the 90s. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I didn't. I mean, it's not like, so now we can go back to the NBA question
Yeah, that's what I
since we're
think,
not
that's what I
getting
think.
since we're
All
not
right.
getting the
Yeah.
heater. So I feel good about Suns.
I do too.
I
But
like
Chris-
Nuggets.
Fire it. Freaking fire it. Go with your
I
gut.
trust you guys.
I mean,
Bang.
Yeah, bang! From downtown. Norway.
Norway.
Oslo, Norway.
God damn it. We're going to get the rest of these right.
We got our double dip. This one always gets us.
Oh, James Corden. James Corden. And
who's the ball? Vin Diesel?
oh, it is Vin Diesel.
Do we like the D's piece?
It is. It's Vinny Diesel. All about family. I
Before E, except after
We're
C.
going to get them all right.
What gum sells bubble tape?
Hubba Bubba. No.
No.
Big League.
No.
Big League Chew.
No. I think
It's a
Hubba
gum.
Bubba-
Is it the pink one?
It's a
Yeah.
gum or mint brand, it says.
Well,
Lifesavers?
no. Do you remember the bubble tape?
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It says a gum or a mint brand. So what gum also has mints?
Well, that could be not Lifesaver.
This is Hubba Bubba.
I thought it was Hubba Bubba.
It's gotta be.
Does Hubba Bubba have mints?
It's a pink container. It's gotta be.
All right.
I agree. I
Right?
think it's Hubba Bubba.
Fire off the Bubba.
I think it's Hubba Bubba.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
always,
I've never-
always Hubba
I've
Bubba.
never seen a Hubba Bubba mint.
I haven't either, but they make the gum tape.
Oh, what's her name?
Uh,
Oh, I actually don't know Carmela. I was thinking Meadow. I don't know Carmela's name from The Sopranos.
Never seen it.
I haven't either.
Ooh, that could be a good watch. I've only seen like 3 seasons, so that could be a squad watch.
Ooh. Well, we all know that I'll beat you to the finish.
No, we got to be consistent.
I'll outcompete you anytime, Dave. On
You
that.
think so?
Yeah, I would keep up with you for sure.
If it was a
Well-
competition, then I would also be right there with you guys.
Just a bunch of competitors here on this podcast.
I literally have nothing on
Uh-oh.
Carmela Soprano.
I don't know.
That would be Drumline.
Drumline was an awesome movie.
Great movie.
I love that movie. She'll come at night. She'll come out at night. The lean and hungry type. Oh, Man Eater.
She's a man eater. Man eater.
That's not how it goes. It's in that Jennifer Lawrence movie. That kid sings it. The Jennifer Lawrence movie where she dates the younger kid. He sings that.
That was
song.
a decent little film.
I like that movie. Yeah.
Like, I literally have no guess.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No.
No,
But I have no guess, so sure.
let's not do that.
Adam, you've seen some episodes of it?
I've seen like 4 seasons of The Sopranos.
Come on.
She hasn't, like, I don't recognize her from anything else. Like, I only know her from The Sopranos.
Yeah, I legitimately have no idea. So what should we guess? Heidi Klum?
Sure.
Heidi Montag.
All right, let's do our double dip on the MLB.
I don't know who this could be.
It's gotta be.
Just try and think of.
I thought the Braves was right.
I thought it was
Orioles.
a good guess. They're in
That's
the
American
AL.
League.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Marlins play a lot. I'm trying to think of just teams that play a lot of young guys.
Oh, the Marlins, they would have had in the mid 90s Mike Lowell, Josh Beckett. No, he was early 2000s. So
Padres.
Pirates.
Pirates play a lot of young guys.
yeah. The
the
Marlins won't be it because they were an expansion team.
Did the Cardinals
Yeah,
go
that's
on
true.
a
Good
heater
point.
in the early 90s?
No,
Vince
the
Coleman, I
Cardinals-
believe, won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, but we sucked in the mid 90s.
Well, I mean, if you have a lot of guys winning Rookie of the Year, that doesn't necessarily mean your team was good.
I don't think we had anybody winning Rookie of the Year then.
Okay.
I can't think of who they would have been. Because you usually
Sure.
at least hear about them later.
Fire it off.
The Colorado Rockies won't be it because they were a late arrival to the league also.
All right, Dave, give us an answer then. We're just dragging this out. We already lost.
The Reds.
Sure.
Sure. I just shouted someone out.
Dang, MLB was low.
The lowest.
Was low too,
Who
yeah.
was it? View the correct answers.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Eddie Falco. Never. Who?
Edie Falco. I wouldn't even know who that is.
She
Never
can
would have
eat
gotten.
my butt. How about that?
Never would have gotten Edie.
She's a man eater. She's a man eater. That's not how that goes. All right. Well, there you go.
She's been
Sure.
in
See,
Sopranos. She's been in
Sure.
Bupkis, that Pete Davidson show.
Bupkis.
I love Pete Davidson.
And that's
Me
all I
too.
got.
Big Pete Davidson fan. All right, kids.
We'll get a clean sweep of these. I feel like maybe it could be time to eliminate Let's Learn Sports, and maybe we just learn about some of these topics to help us on our road to Daily Dozen glory.
Interesting thought.
Not a bad idea.
Something to think about. Something to think about.
Something to really sleep on.
Maybe we throw in some GeoGuessr.
GeoGuessr is a fun game.
I don't even know what that is, so I'll have to
Like
look it up.
you get shown a 360-degree picture of a random spot on the planet, and you have to guess where it is.
I would love that game.
And there are some people on the internet that are far too good on that.
That
at
one
game.
guy's crazy. He's like
It's
that
ridiculous.
pole only exists in Eastern Poland.
That's honestly what it's like.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
that sign is a certain shape, so this is Oslo.
We'll see what next week has in store. Who knows? All we know for sure is it'll have a Marvel draft.
I'll send you an example. Dave.
But as always, folks, that's Nightly Nonsense.
See ya.
I'm a beautiful butterfly.
Avita sen.